lot of folks of all different nationalities and things come up to me and say, I dug my grandmother too. And I remember the first responsibility I ever had was to take care of my grandmother, make sure she got everywhere okay. And at that time, I was maybe 5 or 6 years old.
All my aunts had children out of wedlock. All of them worked, and all they ever made was $5 or $10 a week. We always needed something. We always was short of food, short of clothes, short of everything. So one day I just looked at my aunts and I decided I wasn't going to, life had to have something more better than that. And I decided I wasn't going to live like that. I was going to go to school and be something. And I worked in Mr. Mark's office. He just had an office upstairs. We had an office upstairs. And I worked most of the time in the office, taking care of, I had to keep track of the shoes that came in, the shoes that went out, how many shoes each salesperson sold. When I first started working at Allen's, I was a little naive because I had never worked among so many white men before. They gave me a letter to bring to the Allen shoe store here downtown. And when we went in the store, the people looked at us like we were some specks on the wall. And then when I told him I had a letter for the manager, he took me in his office, and when I sat down, he told me that right away, he told me, the only reason why you're in my office is because you have a letter. I don't entertain blacks in my store. So I had got a letter for him to hire me as a bookkeeper. But when he told me that, I told him he could keep his job and everything else and walk out the store. I always figured that God gave me the ability or the means to go to school and graduate, be something different from my family. I always wondered what was the reason I went one way when everybody else was going another way. Then I came to the conclusion that the Lord must have gave me the opportunity to do what I was able to do so I could turn around and help people. So I thought that was my purpose in life, to help my family, whatever I could do.
If you needed comforting in any way, she was there. And she knew exactly what to say and how to say it. Before I read her simple rules of life, I'll share with you one little story. But when she was a girl, there's one story that she shared with me a long time ago, is that she saw me sitting and I was doodling on a paper, and she asked me what I was doing, and I said, I don't know, I'm just sitting here drawing a house. I've always wanted to draw houses, and she said, did you learn that from Papa too? Papa was her grandfather. And I said, no, but I got his tools. So she told me that she used to go with him. He was what she called a master builder. And she would go with him from time to time on some of the job sites, because he was colored, and you didn't say much, you just stood and watched. But then after all the business was taken care of, he would go home, take out his tools, and he would be the one to do all the blueprints for every job. And she said, if I'm not mistaken, I think Papa built most of the homes in the Ninth Ward. And that's where she got her love for building houses and drawing homes. And she wanted to become an architect, and he told her she couldn't, she had to become a teacher. So now she's an architect.
Hush not, child, and don't cry. understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to time complication. Bite your lip and take the trip. Though there may be wet road ahead and you cannot slip.
Were you excited?
What you mean excited?
You'll find. Move on up.
What my motto in life is to always be contented with what you have, whatever situation you find yourself in, be contented. And to always be open to help or give a helping hand to anybody else who need help. Whether it means that you do it out or whatever somebody else need help as much as you can. Yeah, you kidding me?